If you're struggling to attract high-paying clients, chances are your niche isn't defined enough. In this video, I'll walk you through exactly how to niche down, pick a profitable focus, and set yourself up for a 10K per month solo web design business. Hello, my friend. If you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Adrian Somoza and I focus on helping talented freelance web designers not only grow their talent, but charge what they are worth. First off, let's talk about why niching down works, okay? So there's two main reasons. Number one, consistency leads to quality. Think about it. Success comes from repeating what works, not chasing variety. Mr. Doodle, for example, built a 3 million following by doing the same type of artwork with the same type of marker for more than 10 years. Coca-Cola never changed their formula in decades. And now people who like Coca-Cola like me, we recognize its signature flavor from all other cola beverages. You don't need to constantly reinvent yourself. You need to master one lane. In web design, that means serving the same type of client repeatedly, solving the same problems better each time, posting the same type of content that attracts your niche. This builds familiarity, trust, and authority. The second reason why niching down works is that scarcity increases value. This is the first law of economics according to Brian Tracy. This law says that for any product or service to have value, it must be scarce or limited relative to the demand for it. Okay? Scarce or limited relative to the demand for it. So where is Coca-Cola, for example, going to be scarce? Answer: in the middle of a remote island in the Bahamas, for example. And even more scarce, in the balcony of the hotel room looking at the Bahamas Islands, right? In the sunset. It's gonna be a very scarce resource at that point, right? So it's likely that the hotel is gonna charge a higher price to bring you a fresh can of Coca-Cola to that particular place in the middle of an island, right? Than the price you would pay if you were to go to a convenience store and get it in your nearest supermarket or local store. Why? Because in that context, it is scarce. It is a scarce resource, but for example, in that case, in that example, that person really wants a fresh can of Coke, right? In that moment where you're looking at the sunset, right? And so that demand and the lack of that resource in that moment makes it a high price, a high value for that person. Now, if you've been stuck in the process of niching down and want help picking your niche, shaping your offer, and building systems that will let you scale without hiring a team, then book your free strategy call below and let's see if you're ready to join the BONT Club, my mentorship program that includes an online course, a mastermind of web designers from all over the world, and weekly live group training sessions with me to help you answer your questions, get unstuck, and move forward in this process. Link is going to be below. Okay, so what's the typical starting point of every freelance web designer, right? Every freelance web designer starts in survival mode, right? You take on whatever work that comes your way, logos, landing pages, social media graphics, and SEO, right? It doesn't really matter. You need to stay afloat, so you say yes to anything that brings in money, of course, right? And that's totally normal. That's phase one, okay? After a while, you start building some traction, right? Maybe you get consistent work from platforms like, for example, Upwork or Fiverr, and you start to position and scale in that platform. Or maybe your Instagram starts bringing in like a few leads each month, or your LinkedIn, and you start thinking, okay, this is working. But then you hit a wall. Your days are full, calendar is packed, but you're still stuck, right? At 3 to 5K a month, give or take. Now, this is where most designers get trapped, because when you're offering everything to everyone, you have to reinvent the wheel, and clients don't really see you as a strategic partner. They see you as a freelancer for hire, right? They see you as a commodity. So you start pricing based on what others are charging, not based on the value you're bringing to the table. And no matter how hard you work, you can't seem to break out of the cycle. So you hit this fork in the road, right? When you say, okay, at this point, you gotta make a decision. You can scale your business in one of two ways, okay? Through volume or through price. Scaling through volume means you go the agency route. You start hiring people to help you fulfill the work. Your role shifts from designer to manager. You spend your time overseeing projects, reviewing work, and fixing problems. You trade creative work for an administrative work. This is a valid path, but let's be honest, not every designer out there wants to be a CEO, right? Not everyone wants to manage people or deal with operations every day. So the other path is to scale in price. Instead of doing more work and focusing on scaling horizontally, you focus on doing better work for better clients and scaling vertically, okay? You specialize, you go deep, you become known for one thing. Now, if I had to start from scratch today, I wouldn't build an agency, to be honest. I thought about it, but I realized I wouldn't do it. I'd actually build a solo web design business, doing one premium project a month at the most, fully in control, deeply focused, and highly profitable, and delivering my best quality work, doing what I'm passionate about, which is design. Now, here's the big bottleneck most solo web designers face: time. You only have 8 hours a day. And if you're not already limiting to 8 hours a day your work, you should be, okay? Working 12 hours a day, 16 hours a day isn't sustainable nor healthy. To increase your income, you cannot think of adding more hours. It's not a sustainable way to do it. It has to be by creating more value in the same time, okay? That means you need to become efficient, okay? Extremely efficient. And the way to do that is to build systems. But systems don't work if your business is chaotic, okay? If every new client is a different industry with different needs, different deliverables, different goals, different budgets, then every project becomes a brand new puzzle to solve. You're constantly starting from scratch and reinventing the wheel, and that's a guaranteed path to burnout. So the solution is to niche down, right? You stop saying yes to everything, so start designing your business around repeatable problems that need repeatable solutions. And when you do that, you create templates, SOPs, and frameworks and processes that you can use over and over again and improve every time you use. So that's how you become efficient, not because you're cutting corners, right, and doing like vanilla work, but because you've mastered solving a specific kind of problem, right? And that gives you even more focus and time and profit to do even more custom work for your clients, right? And create even more unique and more immersive websites for your client. So you don't need to be the everything designer anymore. You don't need to be an octopus anymore. You become the one designer that your dream clients look for. And that's when you start attracting clients who aren't just looking for a website, right? Or the cheapest web designer out there. They're looking for you in particular, okay? And they're willing to pay a premium to work with a specialist that can take them by the hand, solve their problems, give them a great experience, right? Where they don't have to worry about anything and know that they're going to have an assured great outcome because they've seen your work in the past, right? That's how you go from selling economy tickets at $1,100 to selling first class tickets at $18,000, okay? Like Nicholas, for example, who went from literally an average of 1K per month to consistent 10K per month in a span of just 12 months of following this strategy, okay? So let's walk through the 3 levels of specificity that will position you as an expert and make your business scalable as a solo freelance web designer, okay? Level 1 is the what, your service, okay? This is where most freelancers start or have to start, okay? And often it's where they get stuck. If you're offering web design, development, SEO, social media, email marketing, and maybe even copywriting, right? You're doing way too much. Even if you're just doing 2 things, okay? I would say you're doing too much. If you're doing, for example, web design and SEO, I think it's too much, okay? As a solopreneur, it's too much. You're an octopus, not a business, okay? And high-ticket clients don't trust octopuses to lead strategy, okay? Let's analyze the web design market. What do most do, okay? Or in other words, what's abundant? Remember the first law of economics, right? Scarcity increases value. So generalists are abundant, right? Now, what do few people do? Or in other words, what's the scarce offer in the market? Answer, specialists. You guessed it. So for example, web designers who specialize and deepen their knowledge in just web design are very scarce. Think about it. And so you simplify, you strip things back. Ideally, you only offer web design, okay? Not development. Just like architects design the buildings, but don't lay the bricks, you can't really be the expert designer while also being the developer and the SEO guy, etc. The more focused you are, the better you get and the more you can charge. Now, remember, if you want to get to a 10K per month web design business faster, book a strategy call with me where we'll map out your next steps and see if you're a fit to join the BONT Club. Link is going to be below. Now, here's an exercise for this step, okay? First off, pick a service. Do you enjoy web design the most? Or do you enjoy building the most? Or do you enjoy SEO the most, right? Choose one and don't look back, okay? Choose the one that you enjoy the most and you have the most experience with, and don't look back. Next thing is partner up with complementary service providers, okay? You can set up, for example, one-to-one calls to get to know each other and see how much of a fit you would be to work together. And you can set up a referral fee so that the one who refers a client gets a commission. An industry standard for a referral fee is 10%, okay? Level 2 is the who, your client vertical. So this means choosing a specific type of client you want to serve. Let's say you pick residential architecture studios, okay? They tend to have similar goals, budgets, and client types, right? Project timelines, etc. So their websites usually need the same type of structure and their buying decisions are based on similar criteria. That's a gold mine for systemization, okay? You can create reusable processes and your testimonials start building trust with future clients in the same space. You start mastering their world, their language, their pain points and goals. So they really stop seeing you as just another freelance web designer and they start seeing you as the go-to expert for their industry, okay? Now, 6 considerations when choosing a vertical. Repeatable problems equals repeatable solutions, which allow you to build systems that can leverage your time, okay? So try to find clients that have repeatable problems with repeatable solutions. Number 2, excitement and alignment means you won't burn out, right? If you hate the industry, like for example, for me, it would be super boring and tedious to niche down in cosmetics because I don't really care about the industry. I mean, it's great that people love and girls love cosmetics, but I don't, right? So I wouldn't pick that niche. Number 3, access to decision makers, right? The more access you have to decision makers, the faster the sales cycle. So make sure that I would encourage you pick niches where you have direct access to decision makers, to the owner, basically. Number 4, revenue potential, right? So most niches have low and high ticket clients, okay? Like architecture will have low ticket clients and very high ticket clients. So choose the high ticket ones within the vertical that you pick. Number 5, leverage past experience or connections, right? Make sure that you think about, have you worked with clients in the past in a specific niche? Do you have connections in a specific industry or niche because of your natural network, right? And number 6, digital maturity and active lead flow. Prefer clients with an online presence and a lead flow in place, because if they don't have a lead flow in place and they don't have a website and a digital presence already, it's very likely they won't see the value in a high ticket service like the one you want to provide, right? And they are likely not going to get a quick ROI for an investment in a high ticket website, right? All right, so an exercise for this step, okay? Do a list of 20 niches based on what you've worked on in the past, the services and products you are a fan of and use very frequently, and really whatever else comes to mind, whatever niche you would like to focus on, okay? Pause this video and let's get to it, okay? All right, so now let's strip down the list to 10. Let's go. Okay, great job. Now let's strip it down to 5. All right, and now let's strip it down to 3. And finally, it's time to make your choice. Now, don't take too much time for this, right? Picking this industry vertical should only take you about a week, okay? And now level 3 is the when, the place in their journey. Not every architecture studio is really ready for a premium service, okay? A student who just graduated isn't going to spend 10K on a website, right? It just wouldn't make sense. But a small studio doing 300K a year with leads coming in and an outdated website, chef's kiss, right? That's your sweet spot. So they're already moving, right? They have momentum and they're ready to invest to clarify their brand and qualify leads. That's the moment you show up, okay? Not too early, not too late. Now let's do an exercise, okay? Research websites, okay, that are in that particular niche that you picked. Watch interviews. Ask ChatGPT about this niche and ask ChatGPT for research websites and data in this niche. Join groups where they hang out and talk one-to-one with them, okay? This is the most difficult part of niching down, to be honest. You're refining your target down to the last detail, okay? You want to know how much are they earning on average annually? Do they have a lead flow in place? Why would they pay an expert to do the website? Have they done that themselves? Have they tried it themselves already? How much have they spent in the past to DIY this? What are they trying to achieve? And what's the potential ROI of a website for them, right? So if you want, by the way, a list of questions that you would want to ask your clients to understand this when part, right? Craft the document in the link below. I'm going to leave a link with a list of questions that you can ask them, okay? Now, when you stack all these 3 levels, right? Service, vertical, and stage, right? The what, the who, and the when, you unlock a completely different game, okay? You stop guessing, you stop custom scoping every single project, and you start attracting the right leads, not only leads, right, but the right ones, creating systems that scale and commanding the prices you actually deserve. You go from stuck at 3 to 5K per month to consistent 10K plus months. If you want help picking your niche and you're tired of trying it on your own, full of fear and doubts about the process and how to do it, I would honestly love to help you. So book your free strategy call below and let's have a one-to-one chat to see if the BONT Club is a fit for you. That's it for today. Hope you found it valuable, my friend, and as always, Let's bridge the gap, one pixel at a time. Oh, still here? Check out this video next.